Now, the Johnson testimony is particularly interesting because it's covered in both records, both the purple account and the Tuttle account, is the way I'm labeling it. And in the end, it talks about that he couldn't remember really find anything of value, that there was a treasure protected by sacrifice, that had to be armed with fasting and prayer, and struck the treasure with a shovel. One man placed his hand on the treasure, but it gradually slipped out of reach. There's a lack of faith or emotion that caused the failure. And they talk about the blood from the lamb that sprinkled around. Now, that same witness in the media record, it indicates that Joseph indicated where the treasure was. He looked in the hat, told him how it's situated, that Indian had been killed and buried the treasure. So that kind of matches with the purple account. And the treasure kept settling away. And then he talks about salt that might be found in Bainbridge, and told about money he had lost 16 years ago, and how Joseph described the man who had taken it, and what happened to the money. What was all this thing about sheep dripping around and not having faith and so forth? This account is supposedly a more complete account, and there's a record that was written earlier. And let's go back up to the other one. There's none of this. Blood of the lamb, lack of faith, and sacrifice. And yet it's the same person. So let's go on. So kind of the conclusions are, first of all, that it wasn't a trial. It was an examination. It was likely initiated not so much from the concern for him being a money digger, as it was that he was having an influence on Josiah Stoll. Josiah Stoll was one of the first believers in Joseph Smith. And his nephew was probably very concerned about that. He was anxious to disrupt that if possible. And it looked like there were 7 witnesses, but there was some editing of the witness testimonies that all witnesses, however, testified that Joseph did possess a gift. There's some variation as far as how strong that gift was, but the issue is that we can accept Joseph Smith. We can put him in his culture, realize what he did as part of that culture, and his age and experience. It doesn't really have any impact on him being a prophet of God. And if there's any questions, I'll take those.